Talking about the Titans here. The Titans!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it is gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball!
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You guys like the new intro? Shout out to Dahl for making that. Although, like, it's fucking fire. What's up, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard, here with the 302 Birds post-game show. And what a win, dude. Phillies win 3-1. Kind of a close win in a sense, just because I didn't feel comfortable, especially with a team as hot as the Brewers right now. But they got the job done. And, I mean, for you Braves fans, is that good enough for you? Because, I mean, like, we finally beat a team, quote-unquote, finally beat a team that's above 500. So, like, is that good enough for you? But I got Brendan on with me tonight, as always. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? Talk about emotions tonight. The highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the happies, the sad. Good night all around. From pitching to hitting to Rhys back in town to beating a 500 team. It was a solid night all the way around, right? We'll get into the Rhys stuff, but God, man, talk about waiting for a grown man to cry.
Sorry, I'm texting Dolt. Dolt's trying to text me as we're doing the show. He's going to hop on later. So, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely emotion. I mean, like, you know, seeing Rhys come up for that first at bat, and they didn't even give a fuck about the pitch clock.
No.
So they just kind of let him do his thing. You know, he gave a tip of his hat or batting cap or whatever you want to call it. So I mean, props to him, dude. Like, you know, I believe he was, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he the longest tenured Philly, or one of the longest?
Yeah, it should have been him and Nola came up around the same time.
Yeah, so I mean, like, he's been here for a while. He's left his legacy on Philly. I mean, I know, like, his wife, they kept showing his wife. Yeah. His wife in the postseason last year, you know, was buying everybody beers. And for what I saw on Twitter, everybody's buying her beers tonight in return. So, I mean, like, he's always welcome here. He'll always have a home here. I don't think anybody's really going to, you know, beat him out of Philly. So. No.
Because, like, let's be honest, like going from like the 2015 to 2016 to 2017, when this team did absolutely nothing, like, Rhys was one of the few things that gave the city hope for baseball, right? I know he came up with, like, his rookie season, and people were just expecting home runs left and right. That wasn't something you saw since like 2011. He was a big part in everything. Big part in 2019 with the bat spike, just working his way through it. Really sucks the way everything panned out for him, because, you know, you would love to see him get kept on the team, but it's just good to see him happy. It's good to see that he's playing well. He had a hell of a night tonight. As much as you don't want to see a guy homer against the Phillies, if it's a night like tonight, it is what it is, right? You gotta be happy for him altogether. I know there was, you know, the mixed emotions going back and forth between happy and sad, and, like, you know, cheering and booing him, but I'm happy for him. I'm also happy that he got gunned down at home by Rojas.
I was just about to say that too, dude. Like,
yeah,
Rojas,
yeah. I think they said they clocked it in at like 96. So, like, that's a hell of a defensive play. He had another, you know, speaking of him, he had another, what was that diving catch in the first inning, I think, last night. So good for him, for the defense picking back up, because that was definitely sliding out throughout the last couple of weeks. But no, just happy for Rhys altogether. It sucks that he's not here, but, you know, you just gotta be happy for the guy.
Yeah, I like, so I saw that hit where it went to Rojas, and, you know, he caught it. And Rhys was trying to tag up. And I was like, damn, Rhys about to score. And then you just see a rocket from Rojas in the outfield. And JT's just like smirking at him, just knowing that he got him out. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I love you, Rhys, but get your shit rocked, dude.
Yeah. Who did he homer off of tonight?
Wheeler.
Oh, it was Wheeler? Okay. So if it's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen, you know.
I mean, if he's gonna let a home run, I'm glad it's against Rhys. I'm glad like the only run was against Rhys. But then again, I feel like Rhys has had. I mean, obviously they practice off of each other, so I'm sure Rhys hit off of Wheeler last couple seasons and batting practice and whatnot. So
yeah,
like I said, I mean, if it's anybody that can hit a home run, glad it's him. So. But speaking about Wheeler, dude had an absolute night tonight. I mean, he went 7 innings pitched tonight. I was kind of worried because his pitch count was like 115.
Yeah.
Like in the bottom of the 7th inning, I was like, all right, like your command's starting to go, your velocity's starting to go, you're not pitching as well. You need to just be pulled. But he goes 7 innings pitched, 5 hits. 1 earned run to Rhys Hoskins. He did hit that home run, whatever. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. His ERA for this game was a 2.23, and that's his regular season ERA as of right now. So I'm looking at his overall ERA. Looks like this is his 4th lowest ERA game, if I'm reading this right. So one of his top 5s of this season. And he won't pitch until next week against Boston anyway, just with the way the schedule is. So I think that's why they let him go a little bit longer. So it's great when you can see a guy go 7 innings pitched because, I mean, you only had to use Hoffman and Jose again tonight. They used them last night.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, the big thing about I don't know, it's just something's been like not clicking with me and Wheeler over these last, I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 starts is his pitch count has been getting like really high up really early on. I think it started with against the Pirates a couple weeks ago. Then I think it was the Cardinals game. It's just at the beginning of the season, it seems like he was getting to 100 by, you know, the middle end of the 7th. Now it seems like he's getting up to like the 90, 100s in like the 5th. I think a lot of it has to do with teams just trying to jump on him, you know, early. You saw that again tonight. I think the first pitch of the game was a foul ball, and then he went to a couple, you know, early foul balls in the counts. But that's my only thing with Wheeler. Other than that, he's just spot on. The curveball looks good. The fastball, the sinker has wicked fucking movement on it. Didn't expect that. I feel like that has gotten 10 times better throughout this season so far. But yeah, is his commands on point? As long as his commands on point, he's set.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the better aces that we have. I will say, though, I think, you know, ever since, which we read the game last night, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but ever since Wheeler joined the whole rotation, I think it's kind of thrown him off just a tiny bit. He still had his stuff. He's still been dominant, but you can kind of tell it's kind of thrown him off with just the way that the rotation works now. I know that, you know, when Wheeler came in, it threw everything off. You, me, and Dahl last night were fucking yelling at Wheeler because he's a fucking dumbass.
Walker.
Or Walker, my bad. I'm on the Wheeler train right now. but yeah, Walker, my bad. I know we were yelling at Walker last night saying that we want Turnbull. So, like, for those of you that didn't see the video, I think Dalt posted it on TikTok and Instagram. So if you want to go see that, go check that out. That was pretty fucking funny.
Maybe you'll catch that soft guy in the background yelling about, you know, don't talk trash to our fucking players. Like, we don't live in Philly.
That was so funny, dude. Like, so to give you guys context about what happened,
that guy got annoying as shit.
To give you guys context about what happened, and it's funny because one of the CBS reporters reported about us starting this chant. So me, Dalt, and Brendan started I showed you the tweet, Dalt. I see you in the background.
I did so many things today. I was so hyper fixated on this intro today. This was my main thing. I wanted it to look good. But yes, please send it to me and I'll check it out because I'm sure I read it, but I remember seeing something about it, but that's freaking amazing that they I mean, we're getting recognized now, guys. Shard's anger in the stadium that we turned into a chant is turning into recognition now.
Hold on, I got you. I'm pulling it up.
But like for a little bit of context too, on the dude behind us, this dude was like, we kept making a get Poole Walker chant, and he's like, "Why don't you cheer for the guy on the mound?" And he was like getting like pissed at us for this chant. And it may not be able to play it because you have to upload it on StreamYard, so we probably can't hear the audio, I know. But basically, we're sitting in the nosebleeds, 400 section, cheering. What was it? We want Turnbull. And like, we're not saying anything bad about Walker. We're just cheering for Turnbull. And this dude behind us, and I think like as the game went on, Shard and I like definitely got to know this dude. I think he was just like a heckler because there was the girl in front of us who kept starting the wave. And like, even after you left, Brendan, like as more alcohol she drank, she thought that it would be a better idea to start the wave again. And like, it caught fire, but like those guys just kept heckling her. It was funny. But anyway, this dude was yelling at us. He's like, "How about you cheer for the dude on the mound?" Okay. Like he like was like, and he wouldn't stop. Like every time we started a chant, he's like, "Yeah, like you don't say anything about Walker now." I'm like, dude, like it's my freedom of speech. If I want to say Taijuan Walker fucking sucks, I'm going to say Taijuan Walker sucks. And the best part is when Brendan looks at us and he goes, "Did we move out of Philadelphia or something?" And
like, it's like some soft shit.
Literally, like it was soft as shit.
Have you never met a Philadelphia fan? Like, come on now. Have you never met a Philadelphia fan?
And that's what fucking amazed me. Like, I get, the shit worked for Trey Turner last year. 100% all for it. But that's not going to fucking happen every time somebody sucks, right? Like, everybody's different. We're talking about Trey Turner, who, is probably the most chilled down to earth guy. Fuck Taijuan. Nobody gives a fuck either way. Like, at this point, right? Like,
and it's a pitcher. It's so much more disposable, even when you spend money on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's their whole thing right now is the money, but.
And like, it just amazed me, like where this city was less than 5 years ago. And they this really is a small sample size of everything. But at the same time, people was all for the standing ovation. People was all, this guy was definitely against us, just saying we want the guy who has a ERA of about a third of what the fuck was happening. But other than that, just that just amazed me. I don't know, man. That just amazed me. Just somebody heckling back to, we want somebody better than who's in there right fucking now.
Those seats were very interesting. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, we got photobombed by this like person like multiple times throughout the game. So I'm going to have to go back and show you guys. But like the person next to the person was like, "Hey, stop like taking a photo of me." And then this person with their hand up was all for it. So I was like, all right, like this is cool. So, I mean, that's Philly for you. But yeah, when that dude started heckling us for heckling Walker, I was kind of like, all right, like, shut up, Pops. Like, I love you, but please.
He was so fucking funny, dude. Especially with the girl.
He was really funny as the night went on.
Especially with the girl trying to start the wave. So she was looking at him. She's like, "We're going to start the wave again in 30 minutes. And she's going like this. And he's looking at her. He's like, "Sweetie, I might be old, but I can still hear you." And then she's telling him, she's like, what was it? She was like, "Tell them next to you. Tell them next to you." And he's looking at her. He's like, "All right, let me get my carrier pigeon and attach a fucking message and send it." Me and Dahl were just cracking.
Yeah,
up,
like this chick was making it this dude's problem, and basically everybody else in the section, respectfully, making it all of our problem to start the wave. Love the wave. I'll give the wave 3 tries. After that, I want to watch the game. Okay. I think that she might have had something to do with my Kyle Schwarber bet. Just saying. Hold
on, let me see if I can get this to play because I have it on my phone.
I think I'm one of the very few people that is not down for the wave. By the way,
that is her. We can't hear it, but that's her. And like she was honestly, you have to send that to me because that's got to be a Finally Friday. She was kind of a legend. Not even kind of. I mean, she was a legend. She was the epitome of Philly. It's just like, all right, like, I get it. I've been there. I've drank. I've danced on the dance floor too long, but I haven't made it other people's problem. And that was kind of where I was like, all right, girl, like, understandably.
I remember my first drunk Phillies game.
Yeah, right.
But getting into our next topic, the one thing I want to talk about, because I was not expecting the kind of performance we saw tonight, but David Dahl, dude. So for those of you that don't know, again, we were at the game last night. Marsh, unfortunately, pulled his hammy. He was rounding second. We all kind of stood up and we were like, fuck, man, like another freaking injury. Seems like this team can't go 5 seconds without an injury. You got Turner out. You got Marsh out. I think Sosa had a scare, although he played tonight.
Clemens is on a 10-day too.
Clemens is on a 10-day for a back spasm. Ranger, he should, I think, be pitching this weekend. They said that he's going to do catch tomorrow and then throw a practice on Wednesday, I think. So that's good news for him. But, I mean, like, it just seems like everybody's getting injured. And so they called up, I think it was David Dahl and
Weston Wilson.
Weston Wilson, right. So David Dahl gets up to the plate. The first thing he hits is a single. And then he gets up to the plate again, hits a freaking nuke. It just carried. It carried, dude. So, I mean, great call-up. I'm really glad, and it shows me because I know we don't like Rob and some of his decisions, but to me it shows that you can call up people and they can answer the call. It seems like we just have a lot of depth, even in AAA, that we can call upon and get the job done. So I'm just glad that this season shows us that we can do that. That a lot of people are stepping up to the plate, because we have a topic later that we're going to get into. But it seems like not everybody is able to produce right now. So it's good to see your bench guys producing.
Yeah. On teams that win championships, the biggest thing to a team like that is the next man up mentality, right? Eagles in 17 had it. 22, the Phillies had it. That's just the big thing, right? If the next man up, you had Turner go down, Sosa came up. You had Marsh go down yesterday. Now David Dahl went up, and same thing with Cody Clemens when he got brought up too. Just every time, it just seems like every time you bring a guy in, another guy like Jose Ruiz, Kirkland came back this year. It's just the next man up mentality. It's just wild. Having the problems that the Phillies are having is insane altogether. The fact that Rob Thompson has too many guys in a lineup to put in the lineup is just clinical at this point, right? Like, that's not something that Philadelphia as a whole is used to, let alone the Phillies. But having that mentality is just insane. And I don't think anybody expected a David Dahl anytime home run tonight.
Yeah. Can we go back to that comment real quick? I want to make sure we highlight that. We got a first-time listener. I'm not going to make that joke, but I'm going to make that joke. Everybody knows, hey, seriously, Ranger, you got a great name. Welcome to the show. We hope you enjoy it. Be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to do that. But, I mean, yeah, I love to see. Did you come from Phillies daycare? Let me know in the comment how you found us. Sorry to interrupt you, Brendan Shard, but
no, you're good.
That,
I want to make sure we highlight that. That's dope.
Look at his profile picture. Is that the guy from Matrix? I'm pretty sure that's the guy from Matrix. You gotta let me know. I'm curious, but yeah, thank you for joining us. So the one thing I want to talk about, the next topic, and I kind of touched on that a second ago. What's up with the top 4, dude? Bohm went like 0 for 4 today. JT went 0 for 3. Kyle went 0 for 3. Harper went 0 for 3. Like, what's going on? Because this shit's getting annoying. Like, you shouldn't rely on or have to rely so much on your bottom tier guys. Granted, they're producing. That's great. I love that. But I want to see the people that we're paying the most money for produce, and they're just not. And it's getting annoying to me.
Yeah, the fact that Kyle Schwarber doesn't have 10 home runs in 3 days is actually very infuriating. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, because at this point he's already behind the 8 ball. But Harper just won NL Player of the Month. He went 1 for 3 today, I think. Yeah, I think he had a single. But yeah, JT didn't do nothing today. Schwarber didn't do nothing today. Bohm was 0 for 4. Cassie was 0 for 3. There's with those 4 or 5 guys alone, you're paying them $150 million. And you have guys like Dahl and Pache and Sosa and Rojas who accounted for all 3 of your RBIs. So, like, that's concerning, but at the same time, and that's a decent thing to have when you have guys that aren't making any fucking big time money, aren't, the perennial all-stars that are carrying you through the game. If this was, the first couple weeks of the season when Wheeler was pitching, he probably would have lost this game, right? Because he didn't have that run support. But having these guys at the bottom of the lineup right now is huge.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, it's only 3 days in. I know we're harping on Schwarber. I know it took him a couple games last year to get kind of going. But for you to go 0-4 in a leadoff spot, should you really have the leadoff spot if you can't hit? Because it's like, I understand you want to hit nukes. I get that's your thing. I get the Sore bomb's your thing. But I would like to see Schwarber go back to the beginning of the season where he was hitting the short ball. He was getting singles. He was getting doubles. Dude's an absolute speed demon. I mean, we saw that last night when he was running the bases. So my whole thing is like, if you're going to have Realmuto covering for Turner while he's out, you got to have a guy that can produce. And if you don't have a guy that produces, again, it just sucks because I don't want to have to rely on the bottom tier guys because, I don't know if you're going to produce or not. Like Dahl today, he got called up. Granted, he's tearing it up in AAA. How are we supposed to know that he was going to have a home run and a single?
Yeah.
So it's like I need the top guys to start producing, or like we need a lineup change for maybe 1 or 2 games. I think if Rob honestly wants to throw a wrench into the basket, for lack of better words, you just take the lineup, you put all the names in a hat, you start drawing names. Whoever's first goes first, or you can use straws, whatever.
Yeah, the problem is they're fucking winning, right? Like that's just like you say that like
too.
It's just fucking
every
wild.
time we complain.
Yeah, we complain. It's almost like we're finding things to complain about, right? Like, hey, Schwarber, Harper, and Bohm didn't do shit today. Fantastic. Like, it is what it is, right? Like we're just finding shit. Like, it's great. It's such a good fucking problem to have, and it really is just our problem to have being on the podcast. But at the same time, like, what? I don't know, man. Like, Harper was just the NL Player of the Month, and we're complaining that he went 1 for 3. I'm also complaining that he didn't hit a home run today. I'm complaining that Schwarber doesn't have 10 home runs in 72 hours. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just the problems that we're having this year are just fucking really good to have. Like, I guess that's like the bottom line. It's the bottom line to it all for me at this point. Like, 3 years ago, if we said, the 1 through 4 guys didn't have a hit and 7 through 9 did, we might have actually thrown a parade just for that, right? At this point right now, like, if 7 through 9's hitting and 1 through 3 isn't, and they're still somehow winning, it's just going to even itself out, I guess, is the biggest thing of it all.
Yeah, I think for me as a fan, I think it's more so I'm just complaining because of their standings, because they're tied for first with the Yankees. They're first in the entire NL. They're first in the NL East. I really, and we're going to talk about this in a second with our next topic, I just really want Braves fans to eat shit and eat their words, because like I'm just tired of, Braves fans having to show us up. And it's like I know this team can live up to our expectations. Like a lot of athletes that have retired say, I'm going to use Kelsey, for example. The fans have expectations. If you can live up to the expectations, we will shower you in appreciation and love. And if you can't, then, unfortunately, we're going to boo you. So I think that's what it is. I think it's just high expectations. It's a really great season so far. I mean, they're 25 or something above 500 right now?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's almost like, as like a Phillies fan, it's like you're conditioned to bitch, right? Like from 2011 until 2022, there was nothing good going on in the city. Like, you could say that, Nola came up and Hoskins came up and, they had a spurt here and there. But other than that, like, the biggest accomplishment was just not being in last place. And at this point, people don't even want to say that the Phillies are the best team in the league because you never said that before, right? So I think that's what a lot of it boils down to too, is like, it's almost like you're so conditioned to lose and lose and lose, where, the Eagles go back and forth because the NFC East, nobody wins the same fucking division twice. The Flyers have been shit for years. The Sixers are the fucking Sixers who can't get their heads out of their asses. But with the Phillies, it was a consistent 11 years of doing absolutely nothing. And then you go directly to the World Series, then you go directly to the pennant that you're getting next. And now it's to the point where it's not even like you're looking at this as a, World Series or bust. You're looking at this as a multiple World Series bust, or this thing just isn't going to matter, right? Like you're paying all this money. 2 guys are making more than $300 million. You have about 5 or 6 guys who have $100+ million contracts. You're set with these guys for the next 3 to 4 years. It's not even a, 2024 is the year. It's the 2024 and what you can do until 2026, 2027. And going from that mentality of just 0 to 100 of losing all the time to winning is just, it's almost like we have to find something to bitch about or it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, I still think, I mean, like you just said, you kind of hit it on the nail. I still think we're set for years to come, especially with our farm system right now. I mean, you got Painter coming back next year. You got Mick Abel. You got, trying to think of the third guy.
You got Aiden Miller. You got Kava coming up. You got fucking Crawford. I think Crawford, if they end up keeping him, is going to be a big piece. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's Carl Crawford's son, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you got so many pieces that are finally coming together. Like, I remember when we got rid of our entire farm system. Like, we started trading guys like crazy
for that bullshit.
Yeah, like I remember when we started trading guys like crazy, so that way we could try to get people in. But I'm glad that Dombrowski's finally, realizing that we need farm systems. So yeah, I think I agree with you. I think our window's still wide open. And I think honestly, this season right now shows me that, I think we can do it. I think it's going to be my personal take right now. I think it's going to be Phillies Yankees World Series. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that series is coming up too.
I'm excited for it. I have no beef with Yankees fans. I think it's going to be a great series. I really want to see the 2 titans of the MLB go against each other. So, I mean, I think it's going to be great.
Now until it's a full series against New Yorkers.
Hey, what? I mean,
it's the same thing as a Knicks fan. It's going to be the same shit all over again. The fucking trashiest people in the fucking world. No, I got nothing for that. Fuck New Yorkers. The same thing as fucking
Phillies and Yankees fans or Philly and New York fans are just very similar. We're both very fucking annoying assholes that don't know when to shut up.
Chopped cheese, cheesesteak.
So I mean, like, it is what it is. I'm more excited as a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Throw the whole, New York sucks out the window. As a baseball fan, I just want to see 2 good teams going against each other. That's all I want.
Yeah, not like last year when the fucking Phillies blew it and the goddamn Diamondbacks decided to fucking shit the bed.
You got James Frattitoni on here saying that he was arguing with a Yankees fan today. James, same man. I'm sure Shard was probably arguing with one of the same Yankees fans that I was arguing with, aka Colin, who loved to send me a meme today, just reminding me that that really ruined us because now the Yankees, I believe, are they tied or are they in the
back tied? They're back tied. Yeah, Yankees were off today.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, but Colin's pretty chill though. Like,
we love him.
Colin will talk his shit, but he knows like when enough is enough. Unlike JJ Segalo. So,
like the Mets and Yankees fan base, kind of very fittingly.
So, but. Going into our last topic, kind of wrapping things up, the one thing I want to talk about, Braves fans, was this good enough for you? Do we finally get your respect? Probably not, because you guys fucking suck. But, we beat a team above 500. I mean, we beat the Milwaukee Brewers. They're 36-24, so their win percentage is a 600. So, like, is this good enough for you? Can we finally, stop the whole, who have you beaten BS? Because, I mean, we kind of dog walked them today. The only person to get a hit was Rhys Hoskins, and he only got a hit because he played on our team. We knew it was going to happen. So, like, what's your guys' opinion on that?
I think that the entire MLB can stop dick riding the Atlanta Braves. That'd be fucking great. Chris Sale was the NL pitcher of the year. The guy had 8 earned runs against the A's. Like, and you just, look over like a guy like Wheeler and look over a guy like
pitcher of May.
What's that? Oh, for this month, for the month. I
was gonna say the year's not over yet.
Yeah, no, it was for the month. But the fact that he gave up 8 earned runs to the A's, and then they're like, "Yeah, you should be the NL pitcher of the month," is absolutely wild to me. So I don't think this is going to go away all year. I think this is going to go, honestly, until the Braves get their fucking asses beat in the playoffs. I don't see anything of that changing. That's just what happens. The Phillies will never get the recognition. They'll never get the respect that they deserve. They've been the number one team in baseball since the beginning of April. And we're still at the point now where Braves fans say that the Phillies haven't done anything, and the rest of the baseball league doesn't want to give them the credit that they deserve to be the actual number one. So yeah, that's my thing. And that just pissed me off when I saw that he was, pitcher of the fucking month.
So, like, can a reliever get pitcher of the month? And I only ask that because I feel like
Matt Strom.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, his ERA is a 0.75 right now.
Yeah, and the fact that he's getting the recognition that he's getting without actually being a closer is insane. Like, he has 0 saves, and he's being talked about as one of the best relievers in baseball. That's not something you see ever, honestly. If you don't have either saves or holds, you're not the guy for the bullpen. And
right,
fuck, man, he has to be 1, if not 2, in the league right now.
Yeah, I think the thing with Strom too is he's dominant against both lefties and righties. Like he can just strike out whoever he wants. Like, it doesn't matter.
You can throw him into any situation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to see him, which he did last year. I would love to see him start a game and see how deep he can go. Maybe towards the end of the season when you're resting guys before the playoffs, throw him in as a starter for a game or two. And just, I want to see what he can do, especially if he keeps this up all season. I want to see if he can get like 7, 8 innings.
Yeah,
I think that would be pretty insane.
The only thing I see with that is for the amount of times the Phillies have taken a good reliever and decided to put them into a starting spot, and then you've never seen him after that again, right? So that, I can't, I picture him. I can't think of his fucking name at this point right now. Yeah, I guess you can say that for Lorenzo.
What happened last year? Wasn't he a reliever?
He came in as a starter and then went to the pen. So that was like his thing. But I guess the big thing with Strom right now is you could put him in any situation, whether you're going in and cleaning shit up for Walker or he cleaned it up for Sanchez the other day, went in with 2 guys on the field and walked out of there like it was absolutely nothing. So like having that in there where you have a guy that can just pick it up and throw it down and just walk the hell away from it is insane.
Yeah. Hey, are you still on your whole Rob Thompson manager of the year thing?
Who's tied for the most wins in baseball?
True.
Rob Thompson.
True.
He's picked, and then like if you want to like go like deep into it, like every time he has something go wrong for him, he has the right piece to fix it, right? Trey Turner went down. He put Sosa in a good spot. You have a guy like Marsh who went down yesterday. Dahl got put into a good spot. So, like, having these guys, and, like, I think it's really big, and I think a lot of people have trash-talked his coaching skills, myself included, up until, like, the last couple months. But I still think it's a good shot for it. I think he has a better understanding of this team than anybody. He just needs to get his fucking head out of his ass with Walker. I think that's really what boils down to. And I think I was telling Dahl last night, I don't even think that's a him decision right now. I think that's Dombrowski saying, hey, I fucked up and paid this guy $88 million, and we need to play him or we look like absolute idiots out here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I said this earlier, but it seems like a lot of the people that we interviewed last night, they kind of all said the same thing, that Walker not only sucks, but that, nobody wants to pay his contract. And if somebody did want to pay his contract, we would have to throw in some prospects in order for them to take Walker from us, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I hope that they can maybe figure something out by the trade deadline. Do I doubt it? Yeah, it probably won't happen. I think because he's what, 2 more years?
So this is only the second year. It feels like we've been doing this for like 10.
Yeah, he just got here last year. Yep.
Yeah. And then you still
from the Mets, right?
You still from the Mets, and you still owe him $44 million after this year, not even including the rest of this year.
I'm with your take. I think it's more ownership, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not necessarily a Rob decision, because you got me now on the Rob hype train. You're right. Like, you got to show the guy appreciation with this. Like, that's a sign of a good team. Like, I'm almost like Brendan said earlier in the show, it's like it's kind of a good thing that your first 4 batters kind of suck ass and you still find a way to win the game. These are good problems to have, end quote, like you said. So I think that this team is really good. I think Rob needs his respect, and I just want to elaborate that point because I really was not against Rob this year, but I was just mediocre to him. But now looking at it, I mean, they just keep finding ways to win. The only real problem with this team right now, the only real holding up the Phillies is just Walker. That's it. That's the only thing I can really complain about. And like you guys said earlier, it's conditioned to bitch here. So, I mean, we find ways to complain about things, but the only thing we can really complain about as a Phillies fan right now is Walker,
Yeah. And what's wild, what's really wild, I was thinking about this earlier, is as much as we bitch about Walker, at the same time, he's really the 5th guy in the rotation. And how many teams have a guy like him that he can even go 5? I think the biggest thing that boils down to him is just the amount of money that he's being paid. If he wasn't getting that $88 million and he was, making maybe 4 or 5 a year, we wouldn't have this conversation whatsoever if we could have a fifth starter that can go 5 innings, right? It's just that fucking money. That's the definition of Tobias Harris. I'm telling you, man, it's Tobias Harris 2.0.
David, I see your comment here. He is going to pitch this weekend against the Mets, but I mean,
that's what the Phillies have to offer to the world is Taijuan Walker.
Well, here's what I was going to say. Are we really worried, knock on wood, are we really worried about the Mets? I mean, it seems like lately every time that they get a lead, they just blow it somehow. I mean, like their one player said, I'm the worst effing teammate on the worst team, or what. I know it was taken out of context. I'm just gonna roll with it because I think it's funny.
Oh yeah.
But I know he said I'm the worst teammate in the league. It sounded like he said I'm on the worst team. But I mean,
I know at one point or another he said both. When they asked him to double down, he said both.
I think he said both. But anyway, I mean, if you watch a lot of the post-game interviews, though, it seems like a lot of the guys say the same thing, that they're the worst team right now. But I mean, the one thing I will say before we kind of close about Walker is that, I agree with you. I think, him being the 5th guy, him getting into 5-6 innings is great because your 5th guy is not going to do that a lot. I do think that, maybe he has blackmail on Rob Thompson, and that's why he can't get sent down. But I don't know. I mean, we have him for, a year, 2 more years, whatever. I will say
2.5 more years.
I will say the one thing, I hate WIP, but sometimes they make really good points. The one reason why we got him from the Mets was he had, and I can't think of what pitch it was. He had one really nasty pitch that he used when he was on the Mets, and it seems like he
that sweeper.
Yeah, the sweeper.
Splitter. It was a splitter.
Splitter. You're right. So I mean, he threw a really nasty splitter, and it seems like he just can't do that with us.
Yep.
So
and then when you throw 91 mile an hour fastballs, and that's like your fast pitch, nothing really looks all speed.
I mean, last night he was throwing middle at 85 miles an hour. That's why
it's BP. It's just throwing BP. That's all it is.
But that's all I have. I don't know if you guys have anything else. Phillies win tonight 3-1 against, a number 1 team in their division. So, again, you can't really talk shit anymore, Braves fans. We finally did it. Finally did it, guys. But Phillies are now tied for the best record in baseball with the Yankees. So, again, I have no beef with Yankees fans. So props to the Yankees for being the tyrant in the AL. We'll hold it over here, be the tyrant in the NL, and hopefully we see you guys in the postseason, whooping your ass for 2009. But again, Phillies win 3-1. They do play tomorrow, I think, again at 6:40. Let me double check. Yeah, it is 6:40 tomorrow, so about the same time for the post-game show. But you guys have anything else to add?
Just make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't, and comment if you guys haven't too. Commenting is one of the best ways to thank us. We love when you guys are active in the show and give us stuff to talk about. So much appreciated.
Yeah, and we have a lot of content coming your way from our trip last night. So keep an eye on that. But on that note, thank you guys for watching, and roll the outro.
talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive.